ABC's chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, who will be hosting this week, later this morning.
Hey,
George,
Dan.
good morning. You know, we have to imagine that Kim Jong-un sanctioned the release of these two people. So do you imagine that he is trying to create closer ties with America?
Very, very possible. And remember, the president delivered a letter to Kim Jong-un, a personal letter from the president. That is, as you said earlier, extraordinary to have the president's top spy master go and deliver a letter from the president to the leader of North Korea. Now, the White House officials say this is only about the prisoner release. There's no other opening on no other issue right now. But it does indicate that Kim Jong-un looking to either improve relations with the United States or release some of the pressure from the United Nations, which have been coming down hard on these prison camps in North Korea.
And we, of course, don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Now, you have interviewed Dennis Rodman. We saw a little bit of that there. It was a memorable exchange. I believe you went out and got a blazer with dollar bills on it afterwards. Do you think when he claims that he played a role here, that that's a legit claim?
No. I mean, you saw that letter he wrote. He wrote it back in January. And to his credit, at least he did say, we're not going to go back unless you release prisoners. But this was really North Korea taking the initiative, deciding this was the time, and the president seizing the moment as well, willing to deliver that letter to a country that he had isolated in the past. What will be fascinating to see is if it leads to anything else. And of course, the president heading to Asia right now with North Korea's top patron, having meetings with the leaders of China.
Let's talk domestic politics for a second. We're a few days out now from the drubbing that the president and his party took from the Republicans in the midterms. Where does this leave things now for the 2016 race for the White House? Who's up, who's down? Wide
open. You know, there's a big debate over whether this hurts or helps Hillary Clinton. You argue it hurts because the Democrats were so decimated. On the other hand, you could say this will now be easier for her to break free from President Obama. On the Republican side, it is wide open. Everybody waiting for Jeb Bush, but Governor Chris Christie had a good election as the head of the Republican Governors Association. People like John Kasich, governor of Ohio, Scott Walker, governor of Wisconsin, all looking good coming out of this. It will be a free-for-all.
Full Employment Act for political reporters like George Stephanopoulos. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Dan.
And we should say that George will have much more on all of this coming up on this week. He'll explore the impact of the midterms with our political correspondents and with our Powerhouse Roundtable. That's later this morning right here on ABC. Thanks again, George.